Okay, we're recording and now we're going to go live on Facebook, hopefully. There we go. We're starting to go live. We're starting to go live. We're almost there. We're recording. I know that. Okay. Just setting up, done directing. There we go. And we are on with Facebook. Hello, everybody. How are you? It is Monday. It is our little Monday get together, which I love. And I love the people on it because you're all terrific. And there are already, nine people ready to go. So let's bring them in here and admit all of them. Here they all come. There's Charlie Wallace, and there's Marjorie, and Paul Levin, and Charlene Solis, and John Ewing, and who else? Brian Neary, and Len LaFrisco. And let's see here. Who else? Marjorie, are you coming on? There's Marjorie. There she is. She's feeling so much better
There
today.
I am.
Yes, she is. Let's see here. Then we enter. Oh, here comes Scott Boddicker, and here comes Francine Witt. Boy, we got a lot of people today. Look at them. Oh, you're all so handsome and pretty. Paula Levin. Hello, Paula. Hello.
Hi.
Well, we can say hello to him early. Edward Berger.
That's right.
You look
Wow, no hat today. Where's the
Yeah,
hat?
wait, I forgot.
Wow.
Did you get a haircut or something?
It's right.
Oh, there you go.
It's throwing me off. I'm waiting for my Amazon delivery, and it didn't come yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, they never do come when you want them to come.
Yeah. They
That's
say
what
I'm the
he-
next
that's
stop,
what he
then
said.
it was. Yeah.
Uh, let's see here. Oh, there's Andrew Deutsch and Charlie Wallace and John Ewing and Len LaFrisco. And I already said Marjorie, Brian Neary, Scott Boddicker, Francine Witt. Wow. What a bunch, huh? My nose is dripping today for some reason. Um, but anyway, hello. How are you all doing?
Good.
Excellent.
Are you enjoying the new president of the United States?
When we have a new one?
No such luck.
It's like, this is like you're sitting in the house and you're going, let's watch our favorite show. Oh, damn, it's a rerun.
2.0, but it's worse.
Huh? It's worse than a rerun. Yeah, I guess.
What's that got to do with the price of coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I like how the latest thing is, I think he wants to turn Gaza into hotels and resorts.
Yes.
Yep. Just move all those people out.
Well,
Yeah.
they've already done the landscaping.
That demo's expensive.
You betcha.
All they have to do is turn on the water tap, like they're supposed to do in California, right?
Yeah, right.
It's the
Exactly.
valve. The valve.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's see. We have Scott Boddicker. Oh no, he's not from California. Who's here from California? Oh, Brian
And
and Len
Oh,
and
sorry.
Charlene. You're not getting any of the fires up where you are now, are you?
Nope.
No. You just
Our water's on.
get earthquakes. Although we had an earthquake here
I heard that.
Last night.
last night. It was in Centered New Jersey, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Boston up to Maine was the center of it.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
people here in New York go crazy when we have an earthquake because they're not used to them. And I keep saying to them, it was a 1-2. What are you screaming about? You know?
Did I tell you when we were in Puerto Vallarta we had a 6.2?
6.2 when you were in Puerto Vallarta?
Yeah, it was about 150 miles away, but the hotel was going. I could hear the water
Did
sloshing
you
out
say
the
to your
pool.
wife, did the earth move for you?
You sure you didn't just have a little too much
Honestly, during
tequila?
the Loma Prieta quake, my girlfriend and I, she spent the night over at my house, even though we had broken up for the 15th time, I think. And she spent the night at my place. And the next morning, I said, "Did the earth move for you?" I had to pull that joke, you know. It's terrible. And she said no, and then she left and never saw me again. But anyway,
She didn't like your sense of humor.
huh?
She did not like your sense of humor.
Did not like my no, she don't like my sense of humor. I'll tell you something. I think my attractiveness to women has been my sense of humor. There's another factor, but I won't talk about that.
Oh,
No,
brother.
it's been my sense of humor. And I asked Marjorie, I said, what do you find is my best attribute? And she says, you make me laugh, right? So, Marjorie?
She's awfully
hear that?
quiet.
She's too busy laughing.
Yeah.
She's not talking. Yeah, but anyway, so I mean, like women like a sense of humor, right? Francine?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I wish there were a gay guy here. I could ask him, But anyway, let's ask Edward Berger. What have you been doing lately, Edward?
Fooling around?
Fooling around?
Yeah,
What to you is fooling around?
just hanging out, doing things, you know.
Is she good looking?
Yeah, no, nothing like that.
And does she have a sense of humor?
Yeah,
Well, he has a sense of humor,
that's right.
But just say the following phrase. I just want to hear how it would sound to a woman. Darling, I love you. Go ahead.
Darling, I love you.
See, I mean, that voice just ruins it. Takes all the meaning away from it.
Yeah.
What have we been watching? We've been watching Goliath. We never saw it.
It was good.
Huh?
It was good. I saw that when it was on.
Yeah, I think it's good too. I'm just, what I'm tired of though are detectives and lawyers and people who work in hospitals who are all screwed up. They're all screwed up. That's the way the British television shows, aren't they, Marjorie? Because you were,
Yes, nothing wrong with that.
but they're all screwed up, right? They all
Yeah.
are defective. I would often used to refer to who was it, Luther, as the defective detective. Yeah, it's that whole thing. And where are you, Brian? Where are you driving to?
I'm almost home.
You're almost home.
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah,
drive?
Freddie.
Which car are you driving today?
My Cadillac Lyric.
That's a
Yeah.
new car, right?
Yeah, yeah. I didn't make it into work today.
Why?
No.
Because of these guys.
Oh, jeez.
I was a
Hey,
little bit
that was an
hungover.
awesome game.
Did
A
you
little bit
celebrate
hungover.
too much?
So, but one more game to go. So,
You're
Please
depressed?
beat Kansas City. Please, please, please.
Please, yes, please beat Kansas City.
remember that thing called the Super Bowl, Alex? That thing's coming up. So, my team and the team that everybody hates are playing each other.
Don't talk down to Emmy-winning sports guy Alex Bennett.
He's gonna say we hope we have more home runs than the other team.
I don't understand the thrill behind football. I'll tell you why. When I was growing up, which was back in the 1800s, I was growing up as a kid. We didn't have football was not a big deal on the West Coast because we didn't have any major teams on the West Coast, did we, Lynn, in those days?
I wasn't here, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean the only football that played a lot was college football. And every college had a football team, obviously.
It seems like everything was East Coast centric back in the 20s, 30s, 40s.
Baseball was East Coast centric. We never had we had a baseball team. It was called the San Francisco Seals. And they were considered like an army team. What?
Oakland and the Oakland Oaks. The Oakland Oaks.
Yeah. And it wasn't until the Giants and the Dodgers came out to the West Coast that we even became slightly interested in baseball.
Yeah.
You had a team
19
called the Seals?
Hmm?
Yeah.
1958.
What did
Yeah.
you say, Paula?
I,
Oh.
I said you had a team called the Seals?
Yes.
Yeah.
Joe
That's a very
DiMaggio played for them.
Yeah,
Really?
we heard about
Yes,
them.
that's where Joe DiMaggio started as a baseball player.
Yeah, they're a semi-pro team.
And they played at a place called Kezar Stadium.
Yep.
And they were a pretty good farm team. I mean, they produced a lot of good ball players. But it was I can't remember who it was a farm team for. I think maybe the
They're all Italian. All those baseball players were Italian back
Well,
then.
they're from San Francisco. What do you expect? Everybody in San Francisco was Italian. I was Italian, and I knew it. No, I lived in an all-Italian neighborhood in North Beach.
Oh yeah.
And the one thing I learned living in North Beach from my Italian friends is that my people killed Jesus. And I had to apologize for it, you know. Well, we'll never do that again. Yeah, right. If he comes back, we're getting him again, okay? What am I being yeah, well, God.
1958. 1958, the Giants came from New York to San Francisco.
Yep. And why did they come to San Francisco? Do you know?
Well, because the Dodgers were down south, so
The Dodgers?
the Brooklyn Dodgers moved here.
The Dodgers were going to LA.
Mhm.
And they didn't want to be on the West Coast by themselves. So they
Right.
convinced the Giants, who were a New York team, to move to San Francisco. And that's the reason why. How do I know that history? That's why I have a sports Emmy.
Here we go.
Oh, really? Anyway. But I was never a fan of football at all.
You don't understand it.
I don't know. I still don't know how it's played, really. I mean, people explain it to me, but they start, 3 steps ahead. They start with the most simplistic part of the game and then move up. They say, "Oh, you got 3. How many downs are there to a?"
Or
I thought it was 3. Almost.
That's Canadian.
Canadian.
And I don't understand what a down is.
Play.
10 yards.
So I never can follow it. Plus, it was too brutal a game. I always liked baseball because it seemed to it had a very pastoral feeling to it, And you'd sit out in a park and you'd watch people playing in a meadow, essentially, And it had a very, very bucolic feeling to it. Meanwhile, here you got football, people are kicking each other in the nuts, And it just seemed too brutal for me. I'm just not that kind of person.
with your violin.
Yeah, right.
My violin. Yeah. The instrument I never wound up playing.
Well, I'm with you, Alex. I've never seen a game, never will.
What?
I said, I'm with you. I've never seen a game of football, never will.
You're alone.
Really?
Zero interest.
Huh.
Really good for you. Good to you. Good for you.
Nor
Come on,
basketball, nor
we'll hang
baseball.
out and we'll not watch football.
I won't watch any sports. It's a waste of time.
I'm very dis.
I'll tell
I'm
you,
not kidding. I've never seen a professional sporting event from start to finish.
when the World Series are on, I sometimes get involved.
No, you don't.
Marjorie, I'm trying to pretend, okay?
Oh, I didn't realize.
No, but I don't. I kind of like a game where something's at stake, like the championship. And I can kind of get into that. I understand how baseball is played. It's the simplest game ever invented, But then again, who invented it? Kids sitting here in New York in the middle of the streets playing with sticks and balls.
Stickball. Yeah.
So, anyway, that's my Okay, I've said everything I have to say for today.
Well, bye.
How's Boddicker just left. I was going to ask him how everything was out in Texas, but
You can ask Charlie.
Ask Charlie, he'd know.
Do you remember Kezar Stadium?
Oh, yeah.
Kezar Stadium in San Francisco?
yeah,
How raucous it was back in the day?
he's our stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Football.
Raucous?
Easer Stadium.
No, there's
Is that a
sorry.
retirement home?
No, it's high school now, but it used to be pretty raucous during the Niners when they first came out
That
here.
was way, yeah.
Oh, really? Didn't the Giants play for a short time at Kezar while they were?
No,
No, they went to straight to Candlestick, I think.
They went directly to Candlestick.
I
Okay.
believe so.
Are you talking about the players or what goes on in the stands?
Well, you were saying that it was who was it was saying? Oh yeah, John was saying that it was raucous.
Right.
What happened out
does he mean does he mean the crowd? I mean, I can understand that too.
yeah, but the crowd was raucous, and there were a lot of bars around there, so
There you go.
you get hammered and come in and enjoy themselves. I don't remember any fighting in
Yeah.
the stands, but they were a lively group.
Kezar was basically in Golden Gate Park, right?
Exactly near Haight-Ashbury.
Ah.
Yeah,
And I think they still use it. I think it's still
it is.
the Kezar Stadium.
It's used for high school sports now. They put in a track. They tore it down, the original one,
Mm-hmm.
high school track, and I think maybe some football.
Am I right though? Was Joe DiMaggio the biggest guy to come out of Kezar Stadium?
Joe was baseball. I think he
yeah.
played in Seals Stadium. No,
I thought
Seals,
they played at Kezar.
not the Giants.
Most football stadiums can also be baseball stadiums.
Right.
Yeah, Kezar was football.
He's not very big.
Kezar was football.
Yeah.
Okay. I just, for some reason, I thought baseball was also played out there. But there
Wasn't
was
Kezar
Seals
where Dirty
Stadium.
Harry-
Where was Seals Stadium?
16th and Bryant turned into a white front store.
Son of a gun. Well, here's a guy coming in knows all about what we're talking about.
Oh, my God. So early, too.
Oh, yeah.
Seals and Croft.
The old big sports fan, Don Giller.
I enjoyed your George Carlin classic.
What? What do you mean?
Oh, yeah.
What classic?
Well, baseball versus football.
Well, I've always said that before George Carlin. The baseball,
of course you
I
did.
loved about baseball with its pastoral quality. You know.
Tennis is ping pong standing on the table, right?
I imagine.
Old comedy routine too.
I feel like Laurence Olivier in Marathon Man.
Okay, someone's drilling your teeth.
Oh,
Is it safe?
Is it safe?
Well, I'll tell you what happened to me today. I had to go to my my yearly appointment with my urologist.
Ain't that a pisser?
No, it's not.
That's that.
off the top of his head, just like that.
He did that. He did that. Yeah.
Did he?
Well, he said to me, he said, you were here 6 months ago? I said, no, I've been here. We're down to yearly visits. He says, oh, then it's time to use the finger. He says, you know what that means? Drop them and bend over. Here we go.
The old bend over.
Then he commented. He made me feel better. He said, boy, that's a big hemorrhoid. You know,
Did you leave a tip?
He
I
did.
know. Now I have to wait 24 hours to see if the cancers come back. You know, they
Did you void your check?
Huh?
Did you void your check?
Did I void my check?
Oh, if I have to explain it.
Voided something.
Oh.
I void my check.
Never mind, forget it.
Oh, God.
Explain it to me. I'm out of it today. I'm not. Don't have a straight idea on these things.
It was along the lines of pisser.
Oh, I see. Okay. What have you been up to, Giller?
You penetrated my dream this morning.
Uh-oh.
Wait, what? I did?
Yeah.
You were having a dream, and
Was it?
obviously I was in it.
You were.
What part was I taking in your dream? I'm afraid to ask this.
I wrote it down. I'm not going to recite it, so I'll just get to the main point. I saw you downstairs in a radio booth with this gigantic turntable. It was larger than a 16-incher.
Okay.
And was it 16 inches, those turntables?
No, the turntables, we used the 12 inchers. There were 16-inch turntable,
Okay.
large transcriptions, but most
Right.
stations I worked in, we didn't need them. Yeah.
And you're talking to me, but I can't hear you. It's like you're muted. It involved boy, talk about putting people to sleep.
He kept bragging about his big 12-incher, and then you figured out that's what he meant.
That was it.
It turned out to be
Really a
metric.
16-incher. Yeah.
No, he kept on saying, shut up, and you said, oh, go fuck yourself. That was for Brian.
Thank you. I like it. Now I'm going to get 20 texts just to let you know. Thanks.
Actually, I made a very short. I extracted your joke and put it on my Facebook page.
Well, here's my favorite joke of that sort. Knock, knock, knock.
Who's there?
Who's there?
Argo.
Yeah, we got it.
No, go Argo who?
Go who?
Argo fuck yourself. Okay. I'll do another one. Knock, knock.
Here we go.
Who's there?
Here we go. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Who's there?
Billy Bob.
Billy Bob who?
Argo fuck yourself.
I sense a theme.
I'll let Adrian know you have a couple knock jokes for her.
Yeah.
I'm using AI to try to figure out what the hell those mean.
Yeah. What is it? The Chinese now have a new AI thing. This is a big deal that made the stock market go down today.
Did it?
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's got a name, some weird name.
Okay.
Argo?
Donald Trump?
Argo. Yeah, right.
To use it, you have to take one part from column A and two from B.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
What is it? What does it do?
I don't know. It's AI. You know, everybody.
It's just
crazy over-
faster and less expensive than Chat GPT.
Well, you know, I mean, the closest thing I've had in my life to AI is now if you're using what is it?
Sounds like
I'm trying to, the Apple, mail client. Email client. At the top, it may have something occasionally. And then you click on that. It's a letter that you got. And then it's somebody asking you something or another. And then when you go to reply, it gives you the answer. You know, it's very weird. It's very strange. But it every time I've said, go ahead, give it that answer. That's the answer I was going to come up with, you know. So there's your AI for you, I guess, you know, at least in present usage. Well, that was interesting. What?
I could go back to my dream.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm glad it wasn't a wet one, so, you know.
Yeah, well, that's what woke me up.
Really, you did dream about me?
Yeah.
That's strange. That's very strange. Mark, did you ever dream about me?
yeah,
You do?
yeah.
Because you do. Okay.
I think you came up because I was in a chicken shop where I was a frequent customer. The place closed down decades ago, and among other things, they gave me this sealed box set of LPs. They said that I had ordered it, and I don't remember ordering it. And it looked like it was an Elvis Presley greatest hits, but it was full of singles. And the next thing I know, you're downstairs playing it. That's how you entered the dream. So
How
fascinating.
long did I last in this dream? Was it a while or
Oh,
was
way too long. Yeah, no, it was brief. In the dream, the chicken people gave me an ice cream bar, but I left my wallet at home, so I had to go out and get it. And then I ended up getting lost in Manhattan.
Was
It's
the
interesting
chicken
that
guy
you-
named Argo and told you to cluck yourself?
Yeah, it told me to watch a Ben Affleck movie.
Oh, okay.
No, here's the thing, with dreams, if you'll forget dreams, if you have a dream, you'll go through it, you'll even wake up and go, oh wow, oh wow. And then if you don't repeat the dream back to yourself, you forget it.
Yeah, I actually wrote it down, so in case I did forget it.
Yeah, yeah. I
And
don't
it's usually the early morning dreams. After you've gotten up and taken a pee and you got to go back to bed for another couple hours, that's when the dreams that you remember happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I have dreams now, but I don't remember having dreams. Marjorie takes some kind of pill her doctor gives her that you say makes very vibrant dreams, Marjorie?
Vibrant.
Oh, really vibrant? Wow. I have to take that some night just to see.
Is it called acid?
Anyway. Anybody seen any good movies? I always ask this of this group.
The Billy Bob Thornton thing we're watching is
I
good.
told them we're watching Goliath, and somebody here said, yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I watched the new The Night Agent?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
A pretty good season.
Yeah.
Is it really? I have to. Did we start watching it
On Netflix.
Not the new season.
Not the new season. Yeah. And Paula last week said she saw the Bob Dylan film, right? No? Who said they saw the Bob Dylan
It
film?
was Francine, I think, wasn't it?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, really?
He was awful on Saturday Night Live singing.
Oh,
Bob
he's
Dylan.
terrible.
Oh,
He was
yeah, I kind of liked it actually. I thought it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
He's terrible.
No,
That
but
show is just
if
not.
you're
What's
gonna-
up, Bob Dylan?
if you're going to sing on Saturday Night Live, wasn't too bad, isn't enough.
Well, I mean, I think that's my bar for Saturday Night Live. It's like, oh, it wasn't too bad. That's
Yeah.
a rave. you know?
Besides the news update, there was not a single laugh on the whole show.
Except for the update?
Yeah, update's usually pretty funny. Until they bring out the stupid characters.
That show hasn't. That show hasn't been funny in years.
Chappelle last week was really funny. That was a good.
I saw his monologue.
Consistently funny most of the skits, but
Yeah, but
that show's going downhill.
That show's been. I don't know how it stayed on. It's gotten so bad. It's gotten so.
The news update is always good.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
The
Too
news.
many damn characters. Too many people on that show.
They have
Get to a small talented cast, it'll be good again.
They have about 15 people on that show, don't they?
More, I think.
Really?
And they just keep adding because somebody's could fit. They've got a trans woman that went to Oberlin that's only on the show because of being trans, has yet to be funny once.
I don't. Which one's she?
She was on Update, like playing a keyboard and trying to sing.
That's a trans? I thought it was just a woman.
No, that's a trans woman. She's from the town where the factory is that I run. She went to the college there.
So she's a guy?
Well, born a guy.
Born a guy. Well, no, there are only two sexes now.
Yeah.
Yep, we all know that.
Isn't it interesting that all these people that
Only
were
two
trying to
sexes.
edit all of that want to change the names of all the bodies of water?
I asked a Republican, and they said only two. Let's see. There's a female, and then there's androgynous. So you can only be for those two.
Yeah, but at the Gulf of Obama, they'll allow you to have multiple genders. Change it. I'm waiting for him to change Lake Ontario because it sounds too Canadian.
You're right.
Yeah, Erie, there's an Erie, Pennsylvania, so I guess we'll keep it. But Superior and they'll change it to inferior to map the president.
The Gulf of America. That one bothers me. And
Well, it sounds like a mall.
Huh?
Sounds like a mall.
Well, also
Mall of America.
they changed Mount McKinley to what was its name?
Denali.
Denali, and they did it because it was a tribute to Indians and Native Americans or Native. Where's McKinley?
Well, General Motors is going to change all of their Denalis to McKinley too.
Wasn't McKinley changed to Kennedy after he was killed?
After he was killed, Denali, I think, was only a few years ago that they named
Right.
Denali.
But wasn't McKinley changed to Kennedy, and then reverted and then to
I
O'Donnell?
don't think so. Does anybody
I have it
remember Mount McKinley being called Mount Kennedy?
No.
I may have it wrong.
Yeah.
I remember Cape Canaveral was Cape Kennedy for a while.
Yeah.
It's back to Cape Canaveral, isn't it?
Right.
Why did they decide to change it back? Why not Kennedy? I mean, after all, he kind of wanted us to go to space, and in fact, Kennedy was kind of built for that.
Yeah.
So anyway, but it's Cape Canaveral again. Hasn't that thing been the Gulf of Mexico forever?
Long before the U.S. existed.
Yep.
Really?
When Mexico went all the way around, including Florida was part of Mexico. And that was the Gulf of Mexico.
That's what made it the Gulf of Mexico. That's right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, good old-fashioned geography. But to know that, you actually had to read a book. So that kind of rules out the Orange Menace.
Well, I think it's wonderful that our president is going out of his way to try and just change everything.
I love that Colombia and Brazil made him back down. They all they wanted was their people not to be treated like monsters and shackles. And Trump turned it into this whole tariff thing. And they went back and said, no, you can't land your military aircraft in our sovereign space. And we don't want our people who are coming back to our country in shackles. And he made a whole puff and bullshit about it. But the reality is that was all they were asking. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
If anything, Petro and Lula da Silva, they stood Trump nose to nose and they kicked his ass. They got exactly what they were demanding, and he got to pretend that tariffs made it change.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, what they said was, are you going to put a tariff on us? We'll put a tariff on you.
Yeah. If he had just picked up the phone and said, hey, we want to return these people to your country, how do you want them? They would have said, not in shackles, and it's fine. And no, you can't land military aircraft in our country. That's all it was. But it's being reported differently. But if you read the newspapers in Brazil and South America, it's
right. What's the deal with that? Because I'm happy to hear what you're saying, but that's not what I read in the newspaper.
That's because you read the newspapers in English.
Yeah.
In Spanish and Portuguese, they're very clear that Trump backed down.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, all they wanted was for their humans to be treated as humans. They're not coming on a slave ship. They're being returned to their country, and the country that they're from doesn't want their people in shackles.
Were all the people that they put on these planes to go to Colombia Colombians?
Yeah,
they were all Colombians.
Yeah, and in shackles on a military plane with no air conditioning, no climate control. And the president of Colombia said, you can't treat our people like animals, and we don't want your military aircraft in our airspace. He sent a Colombian plane. It ended up, I think, being, if I remember right, it got diverted to Honduras, and they sent a plane to Honduras to pick up their people. Would you want, if you were a sovereign nation, would you want some country landing their military aircraft on and bringing your people back in shackles, treating them as garbage instead of human?
Of course not. But I mean,
that's because you and I have respect for
our
people.
current government has no scruples that way.
Yeah.
I mean, Come on, this is a administration that believes you can actually say what's going on in Gaza.
Yeah.
Here's what we're going to do with Gaza. We're going to turn it into hotels and resorts. It's going to
That's
be
what
beautiful.
Trump wants to do.
Huh? I
Yeah,
know.
all those people who thought that he was going to help the Palestinians, they got something to think about now. All the fake propaganda about how you supported the Palestinians.
Well, here it is. What is it? It's he's been a president now for exactly a week, and he has yet to solve the Ukraine problem.
Yep.
He solved it. He
That
said
was gonna
China
happen.
can do. He said
That was
China
gonna
can take care of it.
What?
He solved it. He said China's going to take care of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wrong about there is a Mount Kennedy, but it's in the Yukon. It was named after JFK.
Was it named
Okay.
after JFK?
Yeah,
Does it have a grassy knoll?
it does.
Gotta love them grassy knolls, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, and what's happening in your part of the neck of the woods, Scott Boddicker?
Nothing. Nothing. I don't know. Just I still see the guys out working on the yards, whatnot, all the illegals, I guess, but
So you
haven't got rid of them yet.
yeah.
In San Jose yesterday, they went into a Target or something and into a school, I believe, and
In
took out
Chicago,
some
they
people.
went into a school.
Yeah,
They're only going into blue states.
Of course.
Like Chicago, like Illinois and like California. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah. It's terrible, you know. But what can I say? Marjorie and I are moving to Portugal.
Sweet.
I'm going to join you.
Yeah.
We'll get a whole village together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll help you find one.
But we have nothing much to be here for, right, Marjorie?
Yeah, I agree.
You know, what's our whole day? Watching endless TV shows, you know.
But we have a dinner
Yeah.
planned.
We do have a dinner plan. When
No
is
way.
that? When is that?
Sometime this year, I forget.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know where we are, though. You can come see us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You know.
Do you want me to come announced or unannounced? Just show up,
That would be a great thrill if you showed up unannounced.
like at 3 a.m.
Well, no.
They'll just pop up behind you in one of these broadcasts.
Well, I'm up till 2 o'clock in the morning, so you can come before then.
Good.
Yeah.
Let me write that down.
Yeah. Knowing him, if I tell him that we go to bed about 2 o'clock, he'll show up at 1 minute before 2. That's when
in my cow outfit.
Yeah. In fact, I'm amazed that you called today this early.
Well, I wanted to get the dream out of the way.
So close to Martin Luther King Day, he wanted to give you his "I Had a Dream" speech.
Also, I mean, it's not pertinent here, so I shouldn't admit, but I played back Wednesday's ramble
Mm-hmm.
where all that fun happened,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
and what I didn't realize at the time.
Well, the thing, let's explain what happened. We have a guy who calls occasionally named Tony. Oh, we don't allow to call this show. We just don't allow him to. And Gilbert called you pretty early, right? You got there.
I called only because he had mentioned my name.
Did he mention your name? I didn't know.
Yeah. He said, well, this just shows that Don is wrong and I was right. And
what was the question of what you were wrong about?
well, first of all, I never claimed anything whether I was right or wrong. That was the fact that Tony was claiming that the reason that Harris lost, or one main reason that she had lost, was because she didn't win any primaries 4 years earlier.
Yeah.
And so I came on and said, you don't have any causation for that. And what I should have done which I didn't think clearly enough. I should have asked him how many primaries George Herbert Walker Bush won in 1980. Zero.
Yeah.
And Reagan picked him as VP. I should have asked him how many primaries Biden had won in 2008. Zero.
Yeah.
And Obama picked him for vice president. So
how many votes?
whatever
How many votes did Gerald Ford get to be president?
Zero. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and there are other circumstances like Dan Quayle when he was running in either 96 or 2000, he won no primaries and he dropped out. So it goes both ways, but doesn't mean that one's future is determined on one's failure in a previous primary.
Well,
and he was claiming that it did.
Yeah, I also have maintained for years that the primaries are not dictated by the Constitution. We just made them up as part of the way the game was played, and really, we didn't get into doing primaries till the 50s. Not mistaken.
Well, you think it's a coincidence that Kamala Harris and Ed Berger both won the same number of primaries?
That's right.
She's never been on The Price is Right.
That's right.
You know what I was wondering, it sounds like there's a person who doesn't know what he's talking about. It's like, what makes you think that person facts would change his mind?
Yeah. So I'm explaining this. I didn't get to those details, but I'm just trying to explain to him that there's no causation to what he's claiming. And he keeps on talking over me. He's talking over Alex. He's talking over everybody.
Exactly.
And then
Alex, Paul, if you met him.
And then Alex tells him to shut up. And then I'd say the same thing like a second later. And then Tony says, "Oh, go fuck yourself."
Oh.
He said to me, he didn't say to Alex, even though Alex had preceded me.
He said, "Argo, fuck yourself."
Yeah.
Well, Don, so did you?
I tried, but not in front of Ramble. You know, that's improper.
Off screen.
But it was just really ugly. And
because
I walked away from the show that night being depressed.
Wow.
I said,
he banned
I told
now?
Marjorie about it the next day. I said, I'm thinking about stopping that night show. I said, it's just driving me nuts.
And I'm no saint. You know, I've never claimed to be. And he said one thing that I should have ceded to him. He said, "Oh, you're talking down to me," and I was. I was talking down to him.
And he's from New York, and so that's his style. So
Yeah.
you know, he apologized too. So
Well, after
I'm not trying to defend him. I'm just
Did
trying
you
to be
hear
the
how he
mediator.
apologized? I said, Tony, please apologize to Don.
And he did.
And he was quiet for a moment, and they went, I apologize.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a full-throated apology.
But
Well,
he
it was
did.
heated.
I'm apologizing because I don't want Alex to be mad at me.
Yeah, even though he didn't tell you to fuck off when you told him to shut up.
He told me to fuck myself off once.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
A year ago or so. Yeah.
Is that the way you say it? Fuck myself off? I don't know. But no, he did it to me too. That's his answer whenever he's frustrated and doesn't have an argument.
He's an asshole. He always has been.
Okay, stop talking about him, guys. I'm gonna get so many texts later. Jeez.
I was wondering, I mean, Alex, do you have a mute button?
Well, no.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. I can't mute any of you individually.
Oh.
I can
Yes,
ask
you
you.
can.
I can ask you to mute yourself. Like I can go over
I
here.
think you can if you go.
Yeah.
If
Let
you
me
go to
see.
the little
Yes.
3 dots in anybody's square, try it.
Actually, I think. Wait a minute. Make those. No, oh, mute. Yes, I can.
Yes.
But then you can immediately unmute yourself, right?
I don't think so. I think
I
if
don't know.
you're the owner of the meeting, they can.
Try it. Try
If you go
muting
fuck
one.
yourself, you can't go unfuck yourself. One way.
I think I saw that on a movie once.
Well, let me see. Who hasn't talked much today? John Ewing. Okay, I'll mute you, John. Here we go. You're now muted.
Try to
Oh, nice.
unmute.
Oh, then I can ask to unmute. Okay.
Okay.
But can John
But can he-
unmute himself?
Is
But can
something
he unmute himself?
say something
John?
on your screen, John, that says unmute? Yeah.
It's unmuted.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Well, I guess I could have muted him. Yeah.
But
Is,
that's
is he
just what
is,
it, yeah.
is he banned or suspended or anything?
No, no.
He apologized, sort of.
Well, I'll tell you
Sorry,
what.
guys.
Hmm?
Sorry about that.
Sorry
Senior
about-
moment.
What do you
Will you mute this guy already?
Yeah, mute that guy.
Yeah, what the hell?
No, I muted him and then I asked him to unmute.
Can you unmute, John?
John, now you've muted yourself, John.
Yeah, we're all muted.
No, we're not.
No, we're not.
No, it feels like it.
Now
There we
you
go.
have- Now, yeah,
we
now
go.
you're unmuted. Yeah.
There we go. Senior
Well,
moment.
this is certainly an interesting show today. Mute and unmute. That's pretty much the.
Bunch of mutants.
I think your argument is moot.
Let's see here. Did we see anything else, Marjorie? Yeah, we got all these screeners from the. From
We saw the Brutalist.
the
Where do you get screeners from?
SAG after it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
From your acting days.
Well, no, it's the SAG after awards, which are basically the SAG awards. They're movie awards and TV awards.
And you're a voting member?
We get to vote on them every year. So every year they tell us how we can get the copies of them. Now they just have them on the internet. You just can play them, off the internet.
You need a password to play them.
Yeah. And you can't give it to anybody else, otherwise they throw you out of the academy.
How would they know?
Well, that's a good question.
No. The IP address. Or whatever.
No, it's that I have my own password that is generated for me and me alone. So if I give it to you and it comes from a different URL,
IP.
Yeah, they can then, and I don't want to get them mad at me. So anyways, we get to watch some of the films. Most of them we've seen already, but we watched The Brutalist. We watched the Bob Dylan thing. What else did we watch, Marjorie?
So many I can't remember.
Yeah.
But before the online, that they would send you DVDs.
Yeah, DVDs, right? And you can still, I think, request them if you want them, but
But the DVDs are not copy protected. I mean, they're copy protected, but you could share them with others, and
oh yeah,
SAG wouldn't know about it.
Yeah, I could give you, just say, come on over, get a couple of copies of films I've already watched, and then you.
Yeah, that won't hapen.
Well, first you have to come over here.
Yeah, right. I said that. I said that won't happen.
No, but so I like watching these things at home. The Brutalist is like how long, Marjorie?
3.5 hours with an intermission.
3:45, I think.
With an intermission.
With an intermission. But the intermission.
Like watching Napoleon.
Yeah,
like watching Napoleon.
Yeah, we watched it. And it's a very good film. It's a very good film. But there's a big. Okay, here's the big argument and fight that's going on. And the Brutalist, what's his name? I can't remember.
Adrian Brody.
Adrian Brody speaks. What's the language he's speaking?
Hungarian?
Hungarian? Yeah, something like
that.
And has a Hungarian accent. That's the big part about it. And to correct his accent, because he couldn't get it 100% correct, they used AI to overdub him with a correct accent, using his voice model and somebody else's voice saying the stuff in Ukrainian, whatever the country.
But he's talking in English with a Hungarian accent.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah. And so they simply used AI to correct his accent. And now they're starting to argue that about, well, was that a good performance? It's been AI enhanced. And come on, he's trying to do an accent throughout the entire picture. And he had to have somebody there to teach him how to do the accent correctly. And they just said he couldn't get it right 100% of the time because that's kind of impossible. But
And
now,
he's in almost every scene.
yeah, with AI, they could change that. They could make it work. They could make the accent perfect. So do you think he should be allowed to win an Academy Award since they used AI to help his accent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You use AI for everything around, right? Like CGI stuff. So
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you've got, of course, you got the Bob Dylan film. And, I always hated it when people win Academy Awards for doing an impression of somebody. I think I've said that before.
Yep.
Here, it's a nightmare because everybody's doing an impression of somebody else. You got somebody doing an impression of Joan Baez and somebody doing an impression of Pete Seeger. Ed Norton's terrific though as Pete Seeger. I'll have to say that, but
That's
Got
an
an Oscar.
interesting question though about AI. It's kind of like with technology, there's all kinds of new questions coming up about how people how things get judged.
well, here's the big nightmare for Donald Trump. Emilia Perez, the guy slash woman who was the star of that film, is up for Best Actress because he identifies as a woman. Okay. Is that right? Now, in sports, I'd say that was wrong.
Yeah, but how is this Trump's problem?
Everything's
I said it's his biggest nightmare. Okay. But no, but I mean, in sports, I understand it. Should a guy be allowed to play on a women's team? And the answer for me is no, only because he has better physical strength, even if he's had all the hormones and everything else, than any woman he's playing with. Because men just have more of a muscular strength that way. But in the case of acting, does it really matter? So if he wins or she wins, it's going to be the first guy to ever win for playing a woman. It's very strange. So
Wasn't there an actress who played an ambiguous role and then came out later as trans?
Didn't that Tilda, whatever it is, play David Bowie in a movie?
Tilda Swinton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know what Tilda Swinton is. We have no idea.
But
She's a hell of an actor.
But suppose the film is a sports film that stars a transsexual.
oh my
Why are
god!
you such a troublemaker?
What about Miss Doubtfire?
Yeah.
Did he get an award for that? Jeez.
Well,
Yes, she did.
No, but he was definitely a male in that film, and the story was that he dressed up as his housekeeper in order to see his kids.
Or Tootsie.
Or Tootsie, yeah.
Or
Tootsie again, he did it in order to get a job, but he himself wasn't trans. I think he had a relationship going with somebody in the film.
Gary Gar.
Gary Gar. So.
And they're both never mind.
They're both dead. You're about to say that, right?
Yeah, but I was confusing Dustin with Robin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. Dustin Hoffman's still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. We think. We're not sure. He hasn't been in anything.
Yeah, yes.
What?
I just saw him in something not long ago.
I think I did.
Marathon Man.
No, that was a long time.
That wasn't safe. He was in.
What was Dustin?
He was on at Bill Maher's podcast.
Was he?
Yeah, I think it was him
I don't remember him on that.
on the podcast.
I don't know.
Megalopolis last year.
Megalopolis. He is in Megalopolis.
Yeah, he was just in, yeah.
Yeah.
and Kung Fu Panda 4.
It was a good thing they made that because there were just so many unanswered questions in Kung Fu Panda 3.
Yeah, right.
I thought 4 was better.
Yeah. But the thing is about Dustin Hoffman, he got accused of sexual improprieties with women or something, and now nobody will hire him.
That was Anne Bancroft.
Yeah.
He'll be the next defense secretary.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually knew the woman he was accused of harassing, and she was telling me about it, and she never said anything until Me Too. But she had been on well, she was in Death of a Salesman with him. And I was in like a workshop with her, and she just was talking about how he was chasing her all over the set. But she never, she never reported it or anything, and she's just telling me about it. And then years later, it came out as this big thing. So,
Well, is it that she decided to make it a big thing finally, or that
I think she felt because of Me Too that she was like allowed to or obligated to, or something like that.
Kate Reed?
What were we going to say?
It was Kate Reed?
I think no. Her name was Kathleen, but I can't think of her last name.
Rosetter.
Yes, Kathy Rossiter. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, why do they wait so long? I mean,
How did you know her?
I was in I took this like theater writing workshop, and she's an actress, and they would do scenes that we wrote, and so I was in a workshop with her, and we were just talking. She was like not just telling me, she was talking to a group of people, so that's how I knew her.
Yeah.
They wait so long because back in the day, it didn't even occur to women to protest. It was just
right.
Things were.
And how's she going to fight Dustin Hoffman?
But how many years ago? How many years ago did that happen?
Well, the Death of the Salesman was in the mid, like the 82 or 83 or something like that. So it must have been around that.
That's a long time ago.
She told me in 97, and then Me Too came out in 2018 or something like that. So
I mean, I understand why women don't reveal this kind of stuff because they're afraid of repercussions and whatever.
Yeah.
But it doesn't sound to me like she was particularly afraid of that in the way you describe it.
Yeah, but they get classified as troublemakers. They tell the truth about something. She's hard to work with. They never get.
What happens?
Right. He could have ruined her career.
There are cases where women have accused men of these sort of things, and they didn't do them. But because they accused them, the guy had the burden of proof. Do you find that right?
Well, that was always true with teachers. I was a teacher in the New York City high school system, and as soon as a teacher got accused of anything, like you said something to a student that was could be taken sexually, you were taken out of the classroom.
Even though you may have never said it.
Well, you'd have to prove that you never said it.
But you have to prove you never said it. The person who accuses you doesn't have to prove it's true.
Right.
And that's the great inequality in it all. There are a lot of guys who lost their jobs because because they've been accused, not because they actually did what they were accused of. So,
didn't Kevin Spacey have that issue?
Kevin Spacey has been found not guilty of every charge that's been brought against him. And not because of good lawyering. I mean, he had a case over here in the United States, and he had a case in England. He, to this day, even though no one has ever proved he did anything, he still can't work.
Who can't get a job?
Yeah.
Emptied his bank account doing it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's kind of terrible. I think he should be allowed to work again. I think people should hire him. I think people should say, if a court of law proved him not guilty, then we have to accept that verdict and we have to give him the right to work again. I hear he's not the nicest guy in the world. I've heard nasty things about him, but that doesn't mean that he shouldn't be allowed to work. You know,
He was in 2 films last year,
what were they?
The Contract and Peter 5'8".
And Kung Fu Panda
Never
4.
heard of either one.
Yeah, yeah. He no, he couldn't find a role for Panda.
Yeah, but I mean, but that's not a big career. I mean, he used to be in big movies.
Yeah.
You know,
But Woody Allen had the same issue.
Woody
Yeah.
Allen has a hard time getting people to not only back his pictures,
But work
but to
with him.
be in them.
Right. Right.
And yet, every one of these people said that when they worked with Woody Allen, they had searched him out. You know, they wanted a job with Woody Allen. And now, oh, I don't want to have anything to do with Woody Allen. I'll have to hand it to what Scarlett Johansson
Scarlett, yeah.
has defended Woody Allen, saying I'd work with him anytime. You know,
This is why I'm single.
Because Scarlett Johansson won't defend you?
I call her Lucy.
Yeah.
Hey, that was a good
No, but
one.
it's pretty terrible what's happened to some actors who can't work now, in spite of the fact that they've been found innocent in every case. You know, so I mean, and the burden of the proof was on them. How much money did Spacey have to pay for lawyers to defend him? Towards the end, he ran out of money and he won anyway. You know, so anyway, hey, listen, I just looked at the clock. Guess what?
Oh, wow.
It's time.
It's still working. And an alarm hasn't gone off in our apartment house, has it yet?
That was weird.
We had alarms going off all day.
Twice.
I mean, you
Twice.
can't go out there and listen to them because your ears just get blown out.
Fire alarm.
Fire alarms, yeah. And there are no fires. So, yeah.
Nice.
Anyway, hey, thank you, Paula. Thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you, Charlotte Solis. A delight having you here once again. Andrew Deutsch, funny as usual. Charlie, somewhat quiet today. Well, that was an answer. John Ewing, thank you for being here. Marjorie, by the way, she's feeling better, aren't you, Marjorie?
Well, my back's hurting today, but I don't even want to go into any of
Well,
that.
forget about that. She had a thing where she literally couldn't move her head.
What changed?
What changed?
I'm getting
I mean-
shots. It's bones that are pinching nerves in my neck and going down my arms, and it's very painful.
You
Nerve-
look terrific.
But we're trying
Nerves are
to
the worst.
get her well so we can then go on a vacation.
I'm ready.
Brian, good seeing you here, my friend. How's your daughter, Adrian?
Oh, she did good in competition. She did her solo pretty much perfect. One little hit, but no, she did really good, and she got an award for something rather. I don't know.
She's a dancer.
She's a dancer. Yeah, she was so nervous getting on there, and then my other friend showed up, and then she was double nervous, and then she did great. So
Yeah.
I
So-
didn't cry. I was close, but
You're just a big pussy. Scott Boddicker, thanks for calling us. We always appreciate it. Francine Witt, nice having you here. Len, you're just a loyal friend here. And of course, Don Giller, who actually came on early and spent most of the show here.
Argo.
we all suffer.
Argo,
Sweet dreams.
you'll never. Let's go see Argo now. And every time they mention Argo in the film, we can say fuck yourself.
Great.
And finally, to sign us off today, as always, our big sign-off sound voice, whatever you want to call it, of Edward Berger, who says,
That's all, folks.
ladies and gentlemen, thanks for being with us. Let's do it next week.
Thank you, Alex.
Bye-bye.